Let's get it. Let's get it. What's going on, people? What's going on? We know what's going on, but at the same time, we don't know what's going on. We don't understand it. So, I'm going to give an account on how my day went today. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the gentleman that I've come to just thank you for the resources. I received the N95 masks, and man, you guys didn't give me permission to say your name, so I'm not gonna say your name. So I just want to say thank you. Don't want to disclose who you are and stuff, but thank you. You guys know it's much appreciated. You know who you are. In New York, let me just say, hold on, sorry. The New York. Okay, I'm gonna start from the present and move my way kind of backwards a little bit. So presently, people are outside. Out of all the days that since this, scare, because that's what it is, has presented itself, COVID-19, self-quarantine, mandatory quarantine, et cetera, et cetera. Today, out of all the days within, I would say, the last week and a half, maybe 13 days or so. No, maybe 11 days. Today has been the day where people in New York have been out more than all the other days. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Well, if you're going by what the CDC and the World Health Organization is saying, it's not a good thing. People are just out. They're out like it's like nothing is happening. Not to the scale of, pre self-quarantine or pre-scare, but a lot more people were out today than normal. Well, what's normal now, right? And I don't know. It might be a situation where folks are listening to the president and believing what the president is saying of how this disease is going to pass. Everything is, the testing is increasing, and, we're giving the most tests that, even surpassing China, that, the government is about to open up, or the country is about to open up again. People need to get back to work. And I think folks are buying into that thought. And the caveat to that is more people and more people and more people are contracting the disease and confirming positive. Okay? More and more people. In the beginning of this craziness, folks that I knew were asking me questions as far as, how real this was, and can this really be true, because they don't know anyone who has it. Well, as the day goes by, more and more people I'm finding out, even close to me, who are saying that they're confirmed positive. And not close in the sense of I've been around them, but whatever, people who know people. And the narrative is changing from I don't know anyone who has it to I know so-and-so who just said they have it. I know so-and-so who's in the hospital. I know so-and-so who's now self-quarantined. And it's just increasing. And so to see people who are outside, more and more people just taking liberties to step outside is, I don't know, that might spark another wave from the governor, just to state that, because he's not happy with people being outside. I remember he visited the city this past weekend, of course this week too, because he's been going to reportedly the Jacob Javits Center, because they're just reconfiguring that entire place and making it, a hospital unit. Um, so he's been against having people, walk through the streets and go to the parks and things of that nature. And him and the mayor don't always agree on specific issues. And both of them made it clear they're not 100% on the same page with certain things. But I think with safe distancing and with self quarantine, I think they're both on the same page, and people are not adhering to that as well as they were in the previous days. There have been so many people outside. I mean, there are more cars on the road, there are more cars on the streets. The businesses are not really open as much, but their feet are on the ground. There are people who are outside. Okay? I don't know. And of all ages. Yes, more people are wearing masks, more people are walking around with masks and gloves, and jogging and riding bikes, playing sports, just milling around, just I guess living. But it's kind of crazy. That might spark something where you have government martial law, like people just come say, okay, now it's going to be a complete lockdown, and they'll be enforced with the armed forces. Like, I don't know what people are thinking. I can understand where some people really don't believe this is actually a real thing. There are people who really actually do not believe that coronavirus is anything. And even to the point where people are saying, oh, it's placebo, you're just thinking about it, it's all psychological, it's all in your head. I mean, I don't know. When you have statistics, coming out every day that are increasing, especially in New York State, from, different organizations, John Hopkins University and CDC and the Department of Health in New York, the city and state government, it's a little bit striking to say that this is not real, or this is not, it's crazy. I don't know. Like, I think it's going to come to a head. I think it's going to come to a head, to a boiling point where the hands will be forced and that button, that proverbial button, will be pressed to enact martial law. I mean, that's what it's looking like. That is exactly what it's looking like, because I'm out here, I have to go to work. And while I'm going to work, I'm watching everything that's going on. And sure, it's very depressing and stuff, but when I see more bodies in the street, and not bodies as in dead bodies, pardon me, but folks are walking around and acting like everything is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's so much confusion. There's so much miscommunication, misinformation, just empty rhetoric and talk. Right now, people are now waiting for this, how the stimulus package is going to look and what it's going to do for the people. So that remains to be seen, what it's going to do for the businesses, small businesses, workers, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Like, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. New York right now has the highest cases. It's to the point where people are saying that they have it. Like, everyone is, okay, we have it, because when you hear the numbers, 80% of the people in this country will have it. And if New York is, quote unquote, the hot spot, which is a term that I have problems with in general, but I'm going to get to that. Then it's, and this is something that's been sort of like in the air for some time, and it's super contagious and, airborne, and it's spreading real fast, and and you got it, and it's just like everybody thinks now they have it. That's pretty much the temperature that I'm getting from keeping my ears to the street. that's how it seems like. People in my workplace already are talking about that they have it. Folks are not coming in. They're self-quarantine, et cetera, et cetera. They're following protocol or guidelines, loosely following protocol. It's out of control. Like, I think it's a thing of, I don't know what to even say anymore. Going back to the hotspot thing, like, I don't like that term hotspot, because a hotspot is, from what I've understood, and it's out of context, so I get it. But, a hotspot is a place that people want to go to. When you think of a hotspot, you think of a place that's cool, that's, it's entertaining, it's somewhere that folks want to go to. Folks want to gather and just be, you want to be in a place that's popping, a place that's just, cool or whatever, super cool, a hotspot. But now there's a slant to it now where it's negative. It's the hotspot, like, oh no, you don't want to go there, you don't want to go to New York City. Nope. It's it's almost like, people there are lepers now. Like, if you travel, you expect to be quarantined in Florida, for 14 days, which is just crazy to me. And now, even though that New York City is considered the hotspot, you have people who are taking extra liberties to just walk around, do things, and try to live their lives. This is the second week, so I could see how people are getting antsy, because you to have your life change all of a sudden like that. It's this hard pill to swallow, a very hard pill to swallow. To just say that you can't go outside, or you have to scramble to get essential items, basic needs, and even that, with that right now, as far as the stores and the stores that I've been to, it's not really as hectic as it was a week and a half ago, where back then, and even up till like this weekend, folks were just hoarding running to the stores and just hoarding items, as if, whenever we have a blizzard up here or a bad storm of some sort, people just race to the markets and the supermarkets and stuff, big box stores, to just take all kinds of stuff and weather the storm through a couple days. But that's not the main problem right now. That is not the main problem. So you have stores that are amply stocked, or you might have some shelves that are kind of empty, and some supplies that they're low on. But most of the stores over here have what they need. There's meats, there's not too many long lines and things of that nature. So people are feeling kind of comfortable. A little sun comes out, it reaches 60 degrees, and folks are just like, they want to play ball, they want to run around, play soccer, go gate shopping, because you can't do any window shopping right now, so they're gate shopping, because most of the gates are closed, businesses are closed, but folks are outside. Even the buses, like I was looking, the buses up until yesterday, might have seen like one person on a bus, two, max 3 on these city buses. Today, oh man, it was people holding on to the railings in the bus, and I don't know. And the whole thing about like is becoming quite divisive. Is becoming very, very divisive. What I mean by that is the atmosphere is getting to a point where, when you're listening to the rhetoric from the politicians, and you actually seeing what's going on in your communities, and you go outside and you see, oh, this is what's happening, and you listening to the rhetoric. Here we have a recipe for disaster waiting to happen, because the rhetoric is this. Like, one aspect of the rhetoric is, okay, we have the stimulus package now this is no longer a problem that's second to the cure, because the rhetoric is, as far as Trump goes, he wants to push everything fast. Like, he does not want to hear that this country is going to be shut down, for 3, 4, 5 months. He's talking about reopening everything within weeks, within less than a month, like April 13th or something like that, and going to Easter and having everyone gather in a church, just gather in a church in Easter. Meanwhile, the medical experts and people on his own task force team saying something else. They're saying something else completely opposite of what the president wants. You know, and it makes me think like, you know, I know he's, you know, a successful business person or whatever, and that's his thing. You know, that's what, you know, that's all it's throughout this entire week while the people were trying to make negotiations with the stimulus package. It was about opening up the businesses, the businesses, the businesses. Everything is about the business. The market was great a month ago, and we need to keep it going. We can't shut down the country because the business for the workers, for the workers. That was always secondary though. The workers, but the businesses, you needed good businesses so that the workers could work in these good businesses. Like everything was about business, you know? But what about the medical? Like, what about the medical? Does it have to touch somebody real close so he could open his eyes and see? Because it's not going to happen to him. He's well guarded. But a regular Joe Schmo, Mary Sue, like you and I, like, you know, it's whatever. You know, fend for yourselves. You know, go do what you got to do in the North Wilderness of America. Like, I don't know. If you catch it, you catch it. Oh, well. Like, you know, the politician from where? Texas or wherever, who said the thing about 70-year-olds wouldn't mind dying for the country. Like, huh? Or elderly people wouldn't mind dying. Like, what do these people, like, who? I don't know. And this man is elderly himself. So would he have that same attitude if he contracted, if he was confirmed positive and like got hit bad with it? Had the crazy strain of COVID like hitting him, and would he have the same sentiments? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just insane, you know? So the whole thing is like is health versus finance. It's just boils down to health versus finance and everything else with the control, the social impact, and everything else. It's secondary. Everything is now between health versus finance. Health, medical versus economy versus economics versus money versus fiat versus control versus banking, you know? And now through the circles I'm hearing about banking, digital monies, and digital banks want to introduce digital. Man, you know, and then when I hear about, you know, how FEMA issued millions, they're issuing millions of supplies and millions of this and millions of that. I have been grateful. I am so grateful I received some supplies as far as masks. And it was certainly not from FEMA. It's from the people, man. The people who I didn't even know could even extend themselves, put their best foot forward and do that for me. And I am so grateful for that. And I thank them again for that. That's where I got these masks from. That's why I'm not wearing them now because I'm talking to you all. But that's where, and they will be used. They will be used, and I'm grateful for that. I didn't get these masks from FEMA, not even from my job, you know, which is another fiasco in itself. Another fiasco. The leaders over there have no clue what they're doing. As time goes by, they're wearing their you know, their attitudes and egos are becoming a little bit more inflated because they feel they're listening to the jargon or whatever that they hear from television or the news and think that they can make their own rules. That's what's going on. Like I was told some extra stuff. I don't want to put it out there on the internet, but like it's just a battle all the way around. It's battles all the way around. After all this, I'm telling you, I know most of you know who are listening to this video, the lawsuits are coming. The lawsuits will come, okay? They will come. That's a serious fact. Like the children say, that's a Snapple fact, big fact. People will sue. People will sue for the death of their loved ones, for lack of preparation, whatever it took, you know, economic breakdown. And we'll see how this stimulus package will help the people. But the medical aspect is long standing. Like it hits farther. It's going to hit wider than, because we didn't even reach the top of our curve yet. I'm hearing that China has flattened their curve. Like now, after dealing with this thing since like November, December. Here we are at the end of March, and we're behind China But according to what we're told on the news and in mainstream media, we're testing at a higher rate than these other countries that have been plagued with the disease before we have. There's so much double talking. There's so much, you just don't know what to follow anymore. You don't know what to follow anymore. But you know something is very wrong. You could feel it. You could see it. You could live it and see that something is wrong. Something is just not correct. If people in the highest government can't even come to an agreement on what's what. The president wants to turn the country back on, right? Because it's off, it's shut down, the businesses are closed, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be economic disaster if it continues that way, right? And doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. He's a businessman. He just doesn't want that. And the medical people are telling you, we need this. One way to help diffuse or control or get rid of the spread or decrease this contagious element of this disease is by containing it. And how do we do that? Self-quarantine or quarantine and have safe distancing and things of that nature. But this is not what's taking place. It's just a mix-up of bullcrap, a hodgepodge of crap right now. It is. There are babies now that are being affected, that we're getting accounts that babies have died, young children have died. This is not something where the millennials are just immune to this. It's not. Some people have, think that they've gotten it, they've had it already. Everything is just upside down. Let me get to something before I end this video, though. People are making a profit out of tragedy right now. Pardon me for kind of stuttering. It's just a little chilly out here. People are making profit out of tragedy. Okay? And the president says this is a war against this hidden enemy, invisible enemy. This is a war. But people are making profit out of tragedy. And the whole thing with China being, to blame for everything that's going on. And there's so many inconsistencies in how China, you can't really believe what China is saying because they haven't been transparent. They try to control their own people, and look what happened to them, and they're the blame, and all this stuff to redirect against what's really, they're not trying to allow people to really think critically. They're not trying to allow people to think critically. But going back to my point of why I think it's important to take notice that there are huge profits that are being made through tragedy. If you sort of look at things from a different perspective right now, I know things are hard. People are forced to just do things that are basically unnatural, to not be outside, to not have human contact, human communication, to not be able to see your elderly parent who might be in a nursing home, who can't even have visitors, who can't even have to have a wife who's pregnant, who can't have their own spouse there with them due to safe distancing and things of that. And it's just so much crazy stuff, right, going on. If you can just do something, I guess, positive with your time, something that'll just help you remain sane, remain whole, give you some type of solace, give you some type of peace, then I think this is the time to do that, to kind of combat all this negative energy that's in the air right now. Change your perspective, and you can possibly change your life and weather through this storm and bounce back on your feet and just land on your feet. In case you fall, you'll be able to get back up and move forward, because this will pass. This is something that, it's devastating. No one alive has seen this before. I want to put that out there. Since the Spanish flu, that was 1918. Maybe someone is over 100 years old, who can attest to what the Spanish flu was like. But what I'm saying is this: things come and go, things go up and things go back down. Things come and move in cycles, right? And through these periods of hardship, try to find a way where you can just find something that could allow you to become more empowered and not feel powerless and not remain in a vulnerable, scared state where, you know, it's just a breeding ground for you to become even more uh, inundated with negativity, toxicity. You know, you might want to exercise more now, right? We have a lot of time. We have free time. Well, I don't, but you know what I mean? Like, you can exercise your body, exercise your mind. Think about going to the stores. The produce aisles are filled and you know, with stuff. Well, don't you pick up a bag of fruits or vegetables and eat? Just think about taking care of yourself more, take care of your loved ones more, and not allow this hardship to really destroy you. That's just some food for thought that I want to add to this, because I'm tired of talking about the negative myself. It's taking a lot out of me to just, like, you know, to do what I love to do. But I'm not gonna let this defeat me. I'm not. Now, when I had, you know, I've gotten support from a community in cryptocurrency. Like, that's love right there. That's straight up love right there. And why I say that is because that's what it is. Because some people rose to the occasion, and whether they did, they shouted me out in a video, whether they gave me words of encouragement behind the scenes, whether they extended their best foot forward to try to help me in this hard time, to take care of the people I have to work for, and then come back home and take care of my family. You know, that's love right there. That's love right there, and I have to cherish that. Because even in this dark period, good was done, and good can be done. Good can be done. It's not over, and the thing about it too, that it might be hard for people, it could always be worse. It could always be worse. So let's fight through this together, and just make a way where we don't allow this to consume us, to consume our minds. Let's feed our thoughts with positive affirmations and positive actions and deeds, because that's who we are as well. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what's going on with where you at, wherever location you are, and how you're able to deal with this. What is it that you're going through? How are you overcoming this perilous freaking experience that we're going through right here? It's almost like it has no name, but it does have a name. Take care of yourselves. Be well.